All right, let's start a brand new subassembly for our bottom plates. We're going to insert component and find that bottom plate. Let's check out those patterns that we have to figure out where our constraints need to go. We'll add our guides. Use coincident constraints to line up some of the screw holes with the holes in the plate. And go ahead and add a fixed constraint. Let's go ahead and do a surface contact to get the guide flush with the top of the bottom plate. And then finally, we can finish up by setting a second hole coincident to the other hole. So we'll repeat those three constraints on our second guide plate. Again, there's no real pattern here that we can use to set a second one based on what we have. So we'll just go through the process one more time. Start out with a coincident constraint between two of the holes. Use the surface contact constraint between the bottom of the guide and the top of the bottom plate. And then finish off with another coincident constraint between two of the holes. Just make sure the positions line up. And then from here, what we want to do is bring in our screw. So that's going to be the 0.375 length one. I want to check out the patterns so we can go off of the patterns on the bottom plate or the ones on the guide. But since the guide is on the top, it's going to be a little bit easier to work off of that one. So you want to check your pattern, find where your original hole was created. That's the one that's not orange, and that's the one that we want to place our screw into. So we'll use our coincident constraint to line up the axes, but using smart move in order to make sure that we can get that part lined up on the axis. So first I'm going to select that bottom surface of the screw so I can do the surface contact. And then using smart move, I'll add the coincident constraint. Remember to find your position, the one that's not orange. So that one right there. And we want to make sure we select the bolt, select in the smart move, use it to select the axis. And then we'll select the axis going through the hole. Using reuse pattern, we'll duplicate those positions Now we could turn on to generate constraints here too, but we don't really need to because it'll follow the pattern and everything will update with the pattern. And then we'll repeat those steps for the second guide. First, we'll make the surface contact. Then we'll use Smart Move to set up the coincident constraint, making sure that we place it in the originating hole from the guide pattern. I'm going to select the bolt and then enter into Smart Move, select the axis and then the axis of the hole to finish off that coincident constraint. And then reuse pattern will create the other 5 instances to complete the assembly.